I'm going to show you using this because this has a straight edge here. So, okay, so you make your, I'm going to act like this is my frame, okay? So you make your molds. Okay, so say you move it around this corner and you want to get around this corner. So say you're there and you're going to want to cut it off there, okay? So now you're even. Okay, so to get around this corner here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to crisscross this. So you're going to want to make this flush with this side and that corner flush with that corner. So basically you're going to want to put that in that corner as if like you were doing that, okay? And you just want to crisscross them. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut from this corner to this corner, okay? So you're going to take whatever it is that you're cutting with. I recommend, if you don't have some of these in your arsenal, to get some. They sell these on Amazon as a set or at like a crafting store in the paint section, and they're not very expensive. They're a few bucks, but they are like the best tools as far as I know, like to cut clay really clean because they're super thin. So you're going to want to get that. You're going to want to put your knife down from this corner to this corner and just cut down, okay? Now you're going to want to remove these pieces. You're going to lift that and remove that piece, and then you'll see that that makes a perfect corner there, okay? So now when you're going to glue this down, what you're going to want to do is glue like you normally do, is glue there. I'm going to take this off because I don't need it, and glue there. But you're going to also want to glue in these little sections here, so that way when they're butted up against each other, that glue in there is actually going to help keep those edges together as well, okay? So that's how I get the corners really well looking in the corners, and they don't look all weird and bizarre. So if you're gluing these down here like corner to corner, a continuous thing, it's going to be the same thing as far as gluing technique goes. Is you're going to glue here, you're going to glue here, and you're going to also glue these ends, and then that way you can just butt them up against each other. If you're having difficulties with these ends meeting, sometimes you can overlap them like that and then cut to kind of clean those edges up, because sometimes it just takes a little cleaning to so that they'll stick together, you know what I'm saying? So you could totally do that, but like I said, glue the bottom, glue the sides, glue the bottom, glue the sides. Now, the one guarantee that I do have that I use if I'm gonna, you know, have cracking, there's a couple of ways. Also painting these to make sure before they completely dry. The paint allows the clay to dry slower, and that's the reason why you get less cracking. But if you do say get cracking, and they're like, say if you have a gap like this, you know, we all get them. I've gotten them. It's not a reflection on your crafting abilities, because we all know that clay is unpredictable. But this is going to be your insurance. So this is just a syringe. These are just tips, and you can see there's a hole in there. This actually just screws onto that. Fill this with glue, and then, you know, you don't have to fill it all the way, but fill it to with some glue. And then I use Type-On. I've used other glues as well. I've even used caulking in this. It all works. And then you can use that syringe to fill in those cracks. Okay, then when you have those, I always take a small paintbrush like this, and then you're going to have some water and dip it in the water, and then smooth out your glue. Okay, and that you could do that with caulk as well. Get some water and smooth that out, so then it becomes really hard to tell where that seam is. If you have a bigger crack, say something like that, you may have to fill it, let it dry, fill it, and let it dry. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a really big crack like that, sometimes when I have bigger things like that, I'll fill it more with caulk than glue, because glue actually has a tendency to spill out. You know, it'll start to kind of ooze out. But if you fill it with caulk, which is thicker, you can then fill it mostly with caulk, let that dry for about 20 minutes, and then go in with your glue and go over it to kind of, you know, fix up. Or you could fill it all the way with caulk. I've done it both ways. It all works. But that's the best way I can kind of tell you about corners. And you can do the same thing if you had you know, if you had a crack in the corner here, you could use this method as well to fill those cracks in there. So I hope this helps. I hope this finds you well, and I will see you soon.